Welcome back to Explain the Charts, your go-to source for in-depth cryptocurrency analysis. Today, our focus is squarely on Ethereum, or ETHUSD, which has been making headlines with its dramatic price movements. Let's start by looking at the broader market sentiment and the recent news that's been shaping Ethereum's trajectory. Recent Google searches and financial news outlets paint a very bullish picture for Ethereum. Just days ago, Ethereum dramatically popped above $4,000, continuing an altcoin rally that has captured market attention. Live prices are hovering around $4,265, marking a significant 43% surge over the past month. This impressive climb is attributed to several key factors, notably a weakening US dollar and increasing clarity in US regulatory policies. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, recently clarified that liquid staking services on Ethereum do not constitute securities, a move that greatly reduced regulatory uncertainty. Furthermore, updated accounting guidance allowing certain stablecoins as cash equivalents and new White House directives enabling crypto allocations in 401k retirement plans are paving the way for broader mainstream and institutional adoption. This regulatory support, coupled with expectations of a near-term Federal Reserve rate cut, fosters a dovish monetary policy environment, significantly boosting investor confidence. Analysts like Jamie Coutts from Real Vision view Ethereum as a key pillar of innovation and growth in the U.S. economy, highlighting its leadership in decentralization and tokenization. There's also a clear risk-on appetite in the crypto market, with Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin and its market share rising while Bitcoin's dominance falls. On-chain data reveals significant exchange outflows of around 33,000 ETH daily, suggesting increased staking activity and reduced sell pressure, reinforcing its long-term asset status. While predominantly bullish, it's worth noting isolated news, such as an Ethereum developer being detained in Turkey amid legal scrutiny, but this event appears localized and hasn't deterred the broader market rally. The economic instability of the Turkish lira, as highlighted by Biget, may also indirectly push local investors towards more stable assets like Ethereum, further contributing to demand. Now, let's turn our attention to the charts and see how these narratives play out in the price action. Looking at the daily chart for ETHUSD, we can observe the broader trend from early 2024 through to today, August 11, 2025. In mid-April 2024, Ethereum experienced a significant dip, falling from the mid-$3,000s down to a low of approximately $2,537. This was followed by a sharp rebound and a period of consolidation around the $3,000 to $3,200 range through much of summer 2024. A notable surge occurred in November 2024, pushing the price from the $2,400s up to the $3,800s, showing strong buying interest. The momentum continued into December 2024, where ETH broke above the psychological $4,000 barrier, with a high of $4,096 on December 6, before a correction brought it back to the mid-$3,000s. However, early February 2025 saw a substantial price drop, with ETH plummeting from around $3,300 to a low of $2,100 on February 3, marked by exceptionally high trading volume, potentially reflecting broader market FUD or liquidation events. This $2,100 level acted as strong support, leading to a bounce, though another dip in April 2025 saw prices momentarily touch lows around $1,410. This $1,400 to $1,500 region is a critical historical support zone to watch should any significant retracement occur in the future. From that April low, Ethereum has shown remarkable resilience, initiating a strong recovery that has continued into late July and early August 2025. This multi-month recovery perfectly aligns with the positive news flow we just discussed, particularly the regulatory clarity and dovish economic policies. Let's zoom into the hourly chart to examine the recent price action more closely, focusing on the period from late July through today. We can clearly see a consistent pattern of higher highs and higher lows, indicating a strong short-term bullish trend. The momentum really picked up from July 29th, around $3,200, leading into a series of impressive green candles. Notice the sustained buying pressure pushing ETH through the $3,500 and $3,700 resistance levels with conviction. This consistent upward movement on the hourly chart reflects the risk-on sentiment and continuous inflows into the asset mentioned in the news reports. Now let's narrow our view even further to the 15-minute chart to see the breakout above $4,000 in granular detail. Specifically, we are looking at the period from August 7th through August 8th, 2025. You can see the strong push that began on August 7th, taking Ethereum from the mid-$3,800s towards the critical $4,000 level. The significant green candle around 1342 Universal Time coordinated on August 8th clearly shows the decisive breach of $4,000, confirming the news reports of Ethereum crossing this key psychological barrier. This rapid ascent, backed by substantial volume on smaller timeframes, suggests strong conviction from buyers, likely fueled by the positive macroeconomic and regulatory news. Post-breakout, while there's some consolidation and minor pullbacks, the price largely holds above $4,000, indicating that this level has flipped from resistance to support. To recap our analysis for ETHUSD, several key price levels are crucial to watch. The immediate support level is now the recently breached $4,000 mark. Below that, strong support exists around the $3,500 to $3,600 range, which previously acted as resistance. Further down, the $2,100 to $2,200 and especially the $1,400 to $1,500 levels from earlier this year represent critical long-term support zones. On the upside, the current immediate resistance is the recent high around $4,326 to $4,333. Beyond that, the previous all-time highs will come into play, although they are not present in this specific dataset. For short-term trading, observing volume during breakouts and retests of key levels on the 15-minute and hourly charts is vital. A clean retest of $4,000 as support would strongly reinforce its bullish continuation, 60% likelihood, indicating solid foundation for further gains. Longer term, the outlook remains predominantly bullish, largely driven by the ongoing regulatory clarity and dovish central bank policies. Analysts predicting ETH to hit $10,000 or higher within 6 to 8 months have a significant basis for their optimism, given the current momentum and fundamental tailwinds. We assign a 75% likelihood for Ethereum to test previous all-time highs and potentially push towards $5,000 to $6,000 if the current macroeconomic trends and institutional interest persist. However, reaching the ambitious $10,000 target carries a lower, but still notable likelihood of 40%, contingent on sustained innovation within the Ethereum ecosystem, such as successful sharding implementation and continued Layer 2 adoption. Moving forward, keep a close eye on upcoming Federal Reserve announcements, any further regulatory shifts from global bodies, and Bitcoin's price action as a general market indicator. Also, watch for continued exchange outflows, indicating further staking and supply reduction, which would be highly bullish for long-term holders. Remember to always conduct your own research and understand the inherent volatility in the crypto market. Thank you for watching Explain the Charts, and we'll see you in the next one.